What's up everybody, my name's Big Cam. Welcome back to another movie review, and today I am talking about 2024's The Wild Robot, the newest DreamWorks classic. I mean, this movie is really touching and phenomenal, and I honestly can't say enough good things about it, but let's jump right on into it, start talking about the cast and stuff. Directed by director Chris Sanders, who has done things like Lilo and Stitch, Croods, The Call to the Wild, How to Train Your Dragon. It seems he's been an actor in Lion King 1.5, Tarzan, The Penguins of Madagascar, and he wrote the story for The Lion King, executive producer on The Lion King. I mean, this guy's done some great things for animation for DreamWorks, and DreamWorks' newest masterpiece is The Wild Robot, starring Lupita Nyong'o as Roz, as the Rosin 7314, whatever her number was, and she just turns into Roz, and she, is a robot that ends up, getting a soul, and having a heart, and this robot has more humanity than a lot of humans do in 2025. You know what I'm saying? Like, this movie had so much heart, and if you were ever lonely, right? If you're a lonely person and you're lost and you're alone and you've ever been lost and alone and you've never had, you don't have people supporting you and you don't have family around you, and then all of a sudden these people that, don't look like you and aren't your family and aren't your real peers take you in anyways and make you this found family. And sometimes found family is more family and closer family than your actual family is to treat you, like, in this movie really hit all of the feels for me, right? Like, I was soaking wet. I was melting from my eye sockets. I don't know what was happening, and I was just I was real ugly crying, right? Like, not just one tear, like blowing tissue. Like, I was fucking I was like, this movie has hit me in all of the best notes. Maybe it's because Pedro Pascal was the little fox named Fink, and I really loved Fink. And I loved how much Fink was a loner and alone, and he ended up finding Roz, and now Roz is his family with the duck, and the duck is a goose, and its name is Brightbill, voiced by Kit Connor. And then Bill Nighy's in here as Longneck. Stephanie Hsu is in here as the little villain robot, Mantra. Matt Berry is hilarious as the beaver paddler. Ving Rhames is a hawk named Thunderbolt in his deep voice. Mark Hamill is a bear named Thorn, right? Like, Catherine O'Hare plays a possum named Pinktail with a bunch of her baby possums. And many more other voice actors in this. But just the famous ones that I named, like, those are actors that could be doing anything. They didn't need to do this voice acting roles. But I thought it was hilarious, like Nakia from Black Panther, and now Mr. Fantastic were Roz and the little fox Fink, right? And there's apparently a second Wild Robot movie in the works. And honestly, this movie has a great runtime, about an hour and 40 minutes. It got to the point, though, where I was sitting there and I was like, okay, this is the ending, and this is the ending. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I wonder if this was the ending. And then they were like, oh, what if we want to do a sequel, right? Like, this feels more like a permanent ending. What if we maybe leave it open to, if people really like this, we can do a second one. And I think people really like this to the point where they're fast-tracking a sequel. And I think this movie did well at the box office, right? Like, and now it's streaming on Peacock or Paramount, wherever I watched it last night. One of the streamers. I think it was Peacock. And it's really good. It is really good movie, and I honestly can't say enough good things about it. And right at the beginning, they go through the DreamWorks, and it's not the traditional one where it's like a bobber drops into the water and then they pan up and it's just the guy sitting on the moon. They changed it to it so it's more modern. The moon comes down and talks to other DreamWorks projects like Shrek, and there's a couple other ones that, like, it comes down and like waves at, and it's like, oh, DreamWorks, right? Like, all these famous, awesome DreamWorks movies. And this is just in a long line of DreamWorks classics in their newest masterpiece. Like, I can't say enough good things about this. if you're a fan of animated movies, maybe you got some kiddos at home, sit down in front of the TV and watch this with them. But make sure you got the tissues nearby, because goddamn, you're gonna be crying. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I gave this movie 4.5 out of 5 stars, about a 9 out of 10. It honestly might be a 10 out of 10. I just didn't want to solidify it as my 5 out of 5 best movie of the year, and it's only January of 2025. But this movie did come out in 2024, so on Letterboxd, on my other social medias, it is on my 2025 list, because movies that came out in December of 2024 that I didn't get to watch until January 2025, I'm just including in the 2025 list because I did watch them this year. But it is what it is. Maybe this would be one of the better movies for 2024, but I have a full list of 60-something movies that I watched, new movies that were watched in 2024, that is up on the channel now currently. So go check that out if you haven't. All my other social medias are linked down in the description below. Check me out on Letterboxd if you're a big movie junkie like myself. Twitter, Instagram, Big Cam, 2G's in the Big, pretty much anywhere. Thank you guys so much for coming on by, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace.